We are Team 5A, and the first activity that we did was a water bomb challenge, and that is where we had a competition with the rest of the teams to see who could make the most water bombs. It was really good because it meant that we could socialise with the team and get to know each other, so it was nice to learn things about each other and chat while we were doing it, and it was useful.
Later on, we went on to learn about corporate social responsibility in the ways in which companies act in an ethical way. We looked at case studies, reports and presentations of places like Burma and companies and issues in which they have faced not being ethical in their practices. This could be emphasised the current situation with Volkswagen, who had lied massively about their environmental emissions and therefore not being ethical in their practice, leading people on selling them cars and damaging the environment while making profits.
So the next bit we looked at was business ethics. So we had a presentation by the tutor, and then we had to go into groups and we each handed a case study. So there was different case studies, we got the Burma one, which was about wages and how they don't have the living wage and it's not really fair in a business practice. We had Abercrombie and Fitch and how the person who owns Abercrombie and Fitch only wanted to sell their products to people who were thin and pretty. So we had, each of us kind of presented and said how we could defend them, and the class had to argue back with us saying that it wasn't ethical and stuff like that. We also done ones with Apple about workers as well, and we also done Sports Direct about how they treat their employees unfair. We think business ethics is very important and it can have an impact on the company's brands, because people aren't just looking at companies that are good now, they care about the way they're treating their employees and the way they're treating the environment. So the next thing we done was globalisation, and we had a guest speaker come in and he had a PowerPoint that was really helpful because we actually had an essay / assignment to do on this, so that was really helpful. So basically we looked at globalisation and we kind of looked at the positives and the negatives, both kind of socially and economically. So some of the positives of globalisation are that there's ideas and products generated all over the world. You can speak to people all over the world on Skype and things like that. You can go to any city all over the world, and the kind of most positive is the trade. The negatives for this is the kind of McDonaldization and how there's a Starbucks in every city, so this isn't actually a good thing when you think about it. There's tax havens, and also there's kind of problems with the culture and things like that, so it was good to actually learn about this. It was quite interesting.
We've also talked about negotiation, where we split up in two groups, managers of McDonald's and students, who were the workers. We wanted an ATP rise in our hourly wage. We debated, negotiated with the managers to increase our hourly pay to, I think it was £7.10. However, we've also learned from negotiation that both parties benefit, as McDonald's benefited that we will increase our productivity, and we will benefit that we will get a 40p rise plus bonuses on the weekends.
So in one of our MDP sessions, we also discussed about branding, in which we had a guest lecturer. We thought that it was helpful for us, not only because branding in terms of how a company brands itself was discussed, but also how a person can brand himself or herself. So in all of the essays and reports we had to submit, we had to do referencing, and in one of the first classes we discussed, the tutors taught us how to reference, Harvard reference that is. It was helpful because not only do we use Harvard referencing in MDP assignments, but also in other assignments within the business school.